It's your destiny to greatness with Dr. C and Brothers Keeper. Today, where we've been, where we're going, and Friday trivia. And now, here are Dr. C and Brothers Keeper.
Hello everyone, here we are again for another episode of Your Destiny to Greatness. Dr. C here, and I hope that you are great today. But if you're not, as usual, I just believe we'll be able to help you along the way. Brothers
Hi,
Keeper?
Dr. C.
Yes, how are
This
you?
is Brothers Keeper, and today I'm feeling extremely fantastic and awesome.
I believe it. I believe that.
Dr. C has me pumped up today. As you know, I'm toned down at the moment because I'm way up there somewhere. She had to tone it down so we can get started.
Yes, well, speaking of getting started, today we're talking about it's on the way.
Yes.
It's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
That may mean so many different things to some of you. Could be a package that's on the way, or maybe you're expecting some good news or some goodness, but we're going to be talking about your blessing being on the way.
Isn't that good to be excited about that?
It is, and I'm excited.
Yes, I'm understanding my blessings on the way.
Yes.
I felt right warm and fuzzy on the inside when I saw the
Exactly.
topic for today.
And I have a spirit of expectation
Yes.
of what's on the way to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm happy about what you're going to get, but I'm excited about what's coming to me. So we're going to be coming right back after this short break, and we're going to get into It's on the Way. We'll be right back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and I was speaking to Brothers Keeper during the break, and he actually has a clear definition of what a blessing is.
Yes. Are we aware that our blessings are God's favor and His protection? And as long as we have His favor and His protection, why wouldn't we be excited about it? I'm joining Dr. C in her excitement, and I'm glad that He is protecting me, and I am looking forward to more and more favor.
Well, speaking of blessing, one thing about it, blessings, they are freely given to us. So we don't have to pay for these blessings. We don't have a payment book or anything or anybody holding anything over our head. Not for our blessings. I don't have to send a certain amount of money for you to send me back a blessing in return, because God, He blesses us all the time. But sometimes it just seems like it is just over and above what we are expecting.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, many of us can block our blessings also.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What are you talking about, Brothers Keeper?
if it's nothing else but through lack of faith.
Okay.
And they say, the topic say it's on the way.
Right.
So they're saying way could also mean a road or a pathway. So if God knows us from the beginning to the end, He understands what our destined place is. That path that we should be on. So if our blessing is on the way or it's on the path, and we lose faith and we step off the path and go ahead with Him, where's our blessing going to be? Where's it going to find us at? Because it's still going to go the same place it's supposed to go. In order to get that blessing at some point, we have to reevaluate where we are and come back to our destined path.
Yes, and we have to trust and believe that God knows best, and He has everything ordained for us. So if we are waiting on Him, oh, wait a minute. Wait on the Lord.
Yes.
Be of good courage.
Yes.
And He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Psalms 27
Yes.
and 14. So just because that blessing is coming and it's on the way doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get there in a split second, just like we're putting something in the microwave and expect it to be done. That's not necessarily so. Sometimes, Brothers Keeper, I believe that we have to do certain things. We have to prove that we are worthy and can handle certain blessings.
You're exactly right. So in that process of waiting, what it is doing, we're being put on the kiln per se. You know, we've been tested
Yes.
because there's no piece of pottery that we can have that's going to have any strength to it unless it's been heated up just a
Yes,
little.
yes.
So if the blessings are meant for us to be in a certain way, and we're not yet equipped to handle those blessings,
right.
we'll have to wait.
That's right.
We're in training per se
We
in
are.
order to be able to take that blessing and go to another level.
And we have to have that patience to be able to wait on the Lord. And I
Yes.
cannot express it enough. Trust, because when we trust God, even when we can't see it, even when things are difficult, feels like our backs are right up against the wall and there's nowhere for us to go. But when we trust God, we're saying, I know.
Yes.
I don't see it right now, but I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to come through, Lord. I know you are.
Yeah, that's when we start to exercise a little faith and understanding that our God operates in that field of impossibility.
Yes, exactly.
He does those impossible things.
Yes, and I was just telling someone just this week when things are difficult, and I mean, we're talking about facing a very difficult situation, but I said, you need to surrender and give everything to God. Your
Yes.
shoulders aren't strong enough.
Yes.
They just aren't. But that's just right for God to come on in and make that situation so much better.
Yeah, when those situations, they arise to see what we will do. Whether we'll be prideful, as I said before, and thinking that we can handle it, or we'll humble ourselves and understand that this is too big for me. But we have a protector who has favor and strength to do
He has
the impossible.
everything we need. And for those who might not necessarily be prideful, but then they just may be in a hurry and go to someone else, and that someone else cannot fix the situation the way Jesus can, because when he fixes it, it's fixed.
Yes.
It's done. And then you can hold your head up. You don't have to say, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. You don't have to do
Yes.
that. Just wait on him. And
Yes.
he'll strengthen your heart and you'll be encouraged.
And you know, it's funny you mentioned that. That was one of the things that they said blocks our blessings too. Guilt. The thinking of what I coulda, shoulda,
Yeah.
woulda. At this point, where we are now,
Right.
we have to be secure in who we are at the moment and just move forward. All those things that we don't have, we seek our Father and see if we can get those things to help us to maintain that path that we're supposed to be on, so our blessing will find us.
Well, where we are right now is in a spot where we need to take a short break, but think on these things. And if you're not comfortable with where you are right now, before this show is over, you can get comfortable because you can get closer to the Comforter. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course we have been expounding on the topic, It's on the Way, even while we were to break. But it just makes me think about our present state right now. Because I believe that no matter what, no matter where we are a blessed people. Because if we are here right now,
Yes.
that's blessed. If we're able to move around, we're blessed. Many times we don't count our blessings and name them one by one, because if we begin to do that, then we would see and begin to see the infinite blessings that God gives us each and every day.
Yes, you made a valid point there, Dr. C, because those little blessings, there are so many all around us, and many people will concentrate on thinking this big blessing is coming. And I gave an example before. We walk up looking at the big things and forget the little things. And sometimes those little blessings is the things that carry us through. How many times have we walked up and saw a ladder maybe leaning on a wall? We focus on the ladder, this big object on the wall. Very seldom pay attention to the little steps. Even when we come to the ladder, start walking up the ladder, very seldom do we look down to see the steps. We just assume those steps are there, just like we do our little blessings.
Right.
But let someone come along and just remove two of those steps back to back as you walk and not paying attention, and see how far you make it. And that's how it is with our blessings. It's time for us to start paying more attention and be more
That's true.
thankful for all the little blessings that have already came our way.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you're talking about thankful for seemingly to some it may be a little thing, but sometimes we need to change our mindset and look at things as big, because people who God works through and blesses us through, they don't have to do anything for us. They may just come by and help us out if we're sick and need somebody to bring us something to eat or to wash a dish, or just hold the door for us to help us, especially if our hands are full. People don't have to do, but those are the things when we begin to look and become appreciative of everything, then God will say, well, my goodness.
Yeah.
Let me do a little bit more because I can trust them with my blessings.
He said, if you can be a good steward over a little thing, how much would I withhold from you?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
woo.
And it's on the way. What's on the way, in addition to this big thing that we may be looking for, is us getting stronger. Strength, us being able to be more trustworthy so that God knows that He can use us. Oh, that's on the way. Our peace. So those of us who need patience and just need to know how to talk to people and have tact.
Yes.
It's on the way. And you can get it. Brothers Keepers say we have to be in the right path. Well, if we look and we trust Jesus and His word, it'll help us. And we'll be able to do what we need to do to get those blessings.
Yes. And it's funny you mentioned that. It reminded me of a story in the Bible. Jacob and his son.
Okay.
He had a son named Joseph. Joseph, he had a lot of dreams. And sometimes we could dream and we'll have people in our midst, even in our camp, they'll be envious of our dreams.
Yes.
But if we have the faith in what God is telling us, we still press forward with those dreams.
And it takes God.
Understanding that His favor is on the way.
Yeah.
Well, because of that, his brothers sold him into slavery.
They did.
But it didn't stop him from still thinking about his dream. And then he got to the point where he could start to interpret other people's dreams. Then he ended up in the house with one of Pharaoh's guards.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I think he was one of the captains. And that brings us to him standing on his faith in God and understanding that his position, just because he was in captivity, that did not hinder what's coming for him.
Exactly.
As you say, he had to be patient.
Had to be.
And had to get the right. Evidently, God was tuning him up for his journey. So he was on his journey, being tuned as he went, growing spiritually, mentally, and otherwise. So he'll be able to handle the blessing once it got there, as long as he stayed on his road. He never said it wasn't going to be a bumpy road.
And there were many bumps.
Yeah, bumps and valleys.
As in our lives too.
Yeah. So we're going to move right into our trivia question for
Friday
today.
trivia.
Yes. The trivia question for today is, what is the gentleman's name whose wife tried to seduce Joseph?
Okay. So, what is the gentleman's name whose wife tried to seduce Joseph? Okay. Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the question has been posed. Some of you probably already know, but why don't you email your answers into us by 11:59
p.m.
tonight. Get them on in. Let this be your first time. And if it's not, go ahead and send it in again, because we look forward to it. And you can send your answers to your.destinytogreatness@gmail.com. It's time to get rid of your heavy load. Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Your feel better is right there with Jesus. He said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." Yes, go ahead, trust Jesus, because His yoke is easy and His burden
is light. You don't have to be bound down any longer. Go ahead and push forward to your greater and better health.
It's just me thinking again. Hi, this is Brothers Keeper, and it's just me thinking again. Do you know how often we block our own blessings? Many times we are our own worst enemy. I'm going to give you 5 ways that we can block our blessing. And maybe after I give you those 5 ways, we can think on it and see what we can do to resolve some of these issues that we're having. And we may not know that we're having them. This is just a reminder for us to think about it. The first thing is negative thinking. You'd be surprised. They say a man is what he thinks. If we thinking that we're in a negative situation in our mind, it kind of makes us feel like our body's there too. And the second thing is our pride. You know, pride has caused us to miss out on a lot of things. As they say, you let nothing in, let nothing out. You had that rigid information base, and it's just no good for us. The next thing is us sticking on things that happened in the past, not letting them go. And if we hold on to the past, how can we see what's going to be in our future? And the fourth thing is guilt. Feeling guilty about those things I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hey, at this point, just let it go. Let's move forth. And the last thing is fear. How often do doors open for us and we have so much fear that we don't move? Well, if we don't move, how can we go through the door? And if we don't go through the door, how will we know what's on the other side waiting for us that may be that blessing that we're waiting for? This is just me thinking again.
We are destined for greatness.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for us to cut the cords or cut the strings. And I'm talking about our puppet strings. We have to focus on our purpose and our goal and our destiny. But as long as we allow others to string us along and get us out of character, then that means that we're that much further back from where we need to be. You're beautiful, you're smart, intelligent, and you have within you everything that you need, especially when you allow God to use that He has placed inside of you. So, you don't need the strings anymore. Cut them loose so that you can walk on your own as you walk successfully towards your great destiny.
We are destined for greatness.